What's up, YouTube? So I want to do a quick video, just kind of breaking down my perspective on the MV8000 as it relates to the MPC series, because I know a lot of people say it's the MPC killer. A lot of people think it sucks. Whatever. Here's my perspective. I think I'm a pretty rational sort of examiner of these things, right? I try not to let my emotions get too caught up, in the my evaluation of things. So anyway, well, first and foremost, I want to apologize for I know I said in previous videos I was going to release some free, drums and whatnot, and sound kits, and I'm still going to do that. And the reason it's taken a while is because I'm a little older than some of you guys, and so I have other responsibilities other than this shit, and also because I really don't want to give you guys generic bullshit fucking sounds that come free with some software or with the MP or that are available everywhere. I really want to hit you off with something unique that you could actually, so you could have some original interesting sounds to play with, as opposed to some, generic shit that, everybody has. So that's why, and that takes a while. I got to go through all my sounds, all my years of sampling and digging, and find some stuff that, is worth your guys' free download. So and that takes a little while, and I haven't been able to get around to that, to compiling some stuff together that actually makes sense, and organizing it in a way where it's fun to kind of go through and whatever. So anyway, so it is coming. It's just taking a little while because I got other shit on my plate, and I don't want to give you guys bullshit. I want to give you something quality shit. So yeah, that's coming, but I'm sorry that's taking forever. And but anyway, so my perspective on the MV8000 and the 8800 by Roland is this. It's a dope machine, but it doesn't do the same thing as this does. It does other things that this doesn't do, but it's a completely different workflow. It might look like an MPC just with a Roland brand on it, but it's not. It works completely differently. Well, not completely. I mean, they're both machines that with 16 pads that make music. I mean, how different can it be? But as far as the MPC workflow, it's not. It doesn't have it. It's different. So what is the MV8000? So basically, I have one because I was at Guitar Center, as I'm sure some of you guys, most of you guys, visit your local music store, your local Guitar Center, whatever, occasionally just to fuck with some keyboards and press some buttons or whatnot, because we're just like fiends like that. We're gear junkies, and we can't always just go in and buy shit, right? So anyway, I was at the local Guitar Center, and they had a MV8000. I used one on sale for I think it was $350 or $375, and I happened to have the money at the time in my bank account, so I was like, well, for that price, I'll try it out. Fuck it, I ain't paying no G plus for it, but for 300 something, I'll pay for it. And I could always resell it for at least that much, if not more, right? So it's a low risk kind of situation. You buy it from Guitar Center, it's gonna work, and if it doesn't work, you bring it back, and you could always resell it. So anyway, so I copped it, and So and then I had it for a few months, and I made some beats on it, but eventually I ended up selling it because I needed money. But at the same time, I wasn't using it. Like, I'll never sell. Yes, I will. I've sold pretty much all my gear and rebought it. But so I'm bullshitting. But anyway, I had it, then I used it, and I didn't use it extensively. Like, I can't tell you every feature, so perhaps I'm missing out on some shit. And feel free to comment if you use the MV8000, 8800, and I said something that is not true. You could comment on the bottom, and perhaps I'll add, that'll be a topic of discussion. But anyway, so my perspective on it is that the MV8000 is basically kind of like a DAW, like a digital audio workstation, sort of like Pro Tools or Cubase or something like that, or Ableton, but not quite as powerful. So it's basically it's a multi-track MIDI sequencer and recorder in a box like this, right? With just basically a control surface. It's linear. That's the main difference to me. I could get past some of the stuff, like the quantize is confusing. Like this is, but can't really get past the workflow, which is basically, if you're used to working with like Cubase or Pro Tools, or what's another one, or Logic or something like that, Digital Performer. I don't know if that's still around, but so if you're used to using a linear audio and MIDI environment, then it's cool. It'll work for you. Even Reason works like that too. But it doesn't actually run like a drum machine as far as my experience with it. This still has the drum machine kind of heart and soul, which is you create a 2-bar, 4-bar, 8-bar, whatever loop, and then you just record your loop, and it'll keep looping, and then you could copy and paste your loop and add something to it, and you could have several loops going, as many as you want, you know, more than you could possibly have, right? You could have a bunch of different loops playing, and you could jump back and forth between them, make adjustments, see how one flows into the next, and kind of construct your song from small like 2-bar, 4-bar sequences. So that really works for me, right? So that's the main difference. Whereas in as far as my experience with the machine, the MV8000 is just linear. So you could set a loop, but that's it. You just get one loop. So you can make a sequence and it'll loop, and then so you could take the loop off and it'll keep going. And I guess you could just copy and paste your track, you know, linear in a linear fashion, and then edit it that way. But you can't have more than one sequence going on simultaneously with the same samples in the same program, and then go back and forth. Or if you can, it was really, I couldn't find it. So basically, so you know, what was dope about the MV? So you couldn't do that. So that workflow is gone. So what was dope about it was this, it sounded dope. It bumped. It definitely bumped. The machine sounds hard. It came with a lot of dope sounds, but you know, a sampler is only as good as, I mean, you can put anything into it, right? So that doesn't really qualify. But it did come with some good sounds, some good synth patches and whatnot, good basses. Filters were dope. Effects were dope. Better than the MPC, right? So if that's something that's important to you, consider it. What else? So those, I also like the control. Like for example, it has these under the screen. It has some sliders like this. That could control parameters in the software, which is dope. I know the newer MPCs do that as well, but at the time, like they didn't do that. At the time, that was sort of an improvement, right? So you could control, like for example, if you have your mixing board up, you could control the virtual sliders, like the levels or the effects parameters with the sliders, which is cool. And also the same goes for the effects knobs. You could control the effects parameters. So that was dope. So you could do live filter sweeps and things like that. So that's pretty dope. So it's pretty playable that way. Whereas an MPC really, I mean, you could do you could control the filter parameters with the Q-links, but it's pretty limited. It's nowhere near as advanced as the MV. So that's good for that. If that's something important to you, then you got that. And it was, the general layout was cool. It felt nice. The pads were nice, and the pads felt a lot like these. They were kind of a little spongy, which was fine. Had the note repeat button. So all that, it had a copy and paste button, which is cool. You could just kind of hold it and copy a pad and then paste it to the other pad. So some of that stuff was cool. But you know, the general workflow on this is much faster. Like for example, to me, I'm sort of like an ADD guy. Not so much anymore. But when I was younger, I really didn't like. I could lose an idea. Like if I had a concept, I want to go from concept to execution with as few steps in between as possible, because those to me are just like obstacles I got to leap over now to get my idea out. So, and MPC is just like that, you know what I'm saying? You record your sound, you put it on the pad, you bang it out, you got a beat, right? Literally in 2 minutes you can have a beat. You could go find a sample on the record, 2 minutes later you got a beat. So you can't really, as far as again, with my experience, I couldn't do that in the MV. So you know the only thing, so you know, you sample first of all, the machine takes like 5 minutes to get going. It's like a freaking 98, you know, Windows computers. Like this takes forever to get started. But you know, whatever. That aside, a lot of old gear takes a while to get started. Like the MPC 2000, anything like older than that takes a while, right? That's just how computers, they process stuff slower at the time. But I could get past that. But then, you know, it's just a lot of stuff. Like for example, say I got my sample, I edited it down to what I want to use, I put it on the pad. Now there should be no more obstacles between you know, me and executing my idea. Right here, I just press record play or whatever, you know, and that's it. Pretty much I'm good to go. There's no more obstacles. But with the MV, another screen pops up. You got to set your quantize, and then you know that's your input quantize. Then there's you know, there's several ways that you could like time correct stuff, which is, I thought was unnecessary. It's cool, but it's not necessary. There's quantize templates, which is all, this is all like software features, you know, like something you have in Reason. And it's cool to have those options, I guess, for some people that like variety and just like options upon options. To me, it was just clutter. I felt like this is simple enough. This gives you everything you need. You got your time correct, You set it to whatever. Pretty much like, you know, every kind of musical setting is here that's you're realistically gonna use, plus swing. And if you know if it still doesn't fit your purpose, you just take the time correct off, and you know, you bang it out live. So that's pretty much all you're gonna ever need. But you know, with the MV, you had all these like templates, and that's like, I get it, that's like workstation stuff. But to me, it was unnecessary, and it was just clutter, and I didn't need it, and it was just like it kind of it was like it was something that I had to get past in order for me to bang out a beat. So to me, that was a negative, not a positive. So I guess from Roland's perspective, they were probably like, oh, we're gonna kill the MPC. We're gonna come out. We're gonna add all these features that the MPC is missing. They're gonna have like audio. Or there's also what you could do with the MV is also record audio. So you could plug a guitar in and just record live audio. Yeah, or vocals, any instrument, whatever. So it's an actual multi-track recorder inside it. So that's cool if that's what you want out of a machine. But it definitely, it's fine. I mean, that's cool to have that feature. But you know, I'm already used to Pro Tools, so I'm still gonna go back to Pro Tools if I'm doing if I'm recording vocals or whatnot. So yeah. So basically, essentially, where was I? Sorry, excuse me. That's my ADD kicking in again. Where was I? Yeah, the MV. So yeah, clutter, too much stuff. So basically, so Roland was thinking they're gonna improve the MPC in all these ways, and they did. But to me, I didn't need that. I needed I like the simplicity of it. What they could have improved on was like the saving process and buttons not breaking, which has been happening to the MPC 1000s and stuff like that. But they really didn't need no improvement in terms of you know, the workflow and things like that. They didn't need to add all that stuff. Like, it's nice to have the onboard synthesizers and stuff. That works. That is cool, because sometimes you want to play out a bass line or you have a melody in your head and you just cannot achieve that through a sample. So it's good to have that option. But other than that, yeah, it's just like they kind of missed the point to me with the workflow, because it's just, I don't even know why it's based around the 16 pads, because to me it's a workstation. Like, you wouldn't have a you know, a Pro Tools or a Reason you know, a MIDI controller that's based around 16 pads, because it just wouldn't make sense, because there's just so much more going on than the 16 pads. But it's sort of like they wanted that MPC market, and so it's based around the 16 pads, but it's not a drum machine. It's a multi-tracker and a MIDI sequencer. And the sampler is only a small part of what it can do. So, you know, yeah, so basically that's my 2 cents on it. I think it's a dope machine for what it is. It's, you know, but it's not. It has a different workflow. If you're looking for drum machine, if you're looking for this kind of experience, then stick with these. I'm not really sure about Native Instruments machine. I've never used it, but it seems like I mean, you know, people tend to like it. I really have nothing to say about it. I don't intend on purchasing it, because I got an MPC Renaissance, and that I really have no complaints about that. So yeah, man, that's my 2 cents. Again, the sounds and all that shit is coming. I'm just burning some coffee. I just realized. I just smelled it, so I gotta be out. And yeah, but you know, leave your comments if I got something wrong, if I missed something. I'm sure there's a gazillion features on the MV8000 that I didn't mention, but like I said, I'm just comparing it. I'm comparing the two machines. It's not an exhaustive review of the MV. I think it's a dope machine, but here's where it falls short. It's not a quick sketch pad like this is. All right, so I gotta go put out a fire. I'm out. Peace.